So there is a strong chance that the San Francisco 49ers will go after Jonathan Allen in free agency. So a couple things that we do need to consider are the simple fact that the 49ers are clearly interested in this potential because they almost traded for him. In the Debo Samuel trade, he was discussed as a potential piece, and I think really what the problem came down to was his contract. For the same reasons that Washington got out of his deal and ultimately released him had to do with the money situation. And that was honestly the same thing that was happening with the San Francisco 49ers and Debo Samuel, which is why they traded him and his contract to Washington. So, what does that mean? It means that the 49ers have clearly shown interest in this. Now, it didn't happen, but let's talk about why it could make sense for the San Francisco 49ers to go after Jonathan Allen. He's 30 years old. He actually just turned 30 a month ago, or I should say in January. He's 6'3", 300 pounds. The former Alabama defensive tackle was drafted in 2017, 17th overall. And for the most part, he has been one of the best interior defensive linemen ever since he got drafted into the league. Now, I would say over the past 2 years, he's kind of dipped a bit. You know, he really didn't play all that much. I believe he got hurt in week 6 and did not return until week 17. Um, so he didn't have a super productive year last year, but he was still able to generate 17 hurries, 6 quarterback hits, and 3 sacks with 26 total pressures in a year where he missed a lot of time. So, all things considered, he could still be I would say, a baseline starter in this league. And the reason why I think it makes sense for the San Francisco 49ers, because if you look at their current roster, they are so thin at that position. Just at interior defensive tackle alone, which is 2 starters, they have Malik Collins and Jordan Elliott, along with Kalia Davis and Evan Anderson. Now, Evan Anderson proved he can absolutely be a part of the rotation. Jordan Elliott was in and out with injury, and he was subpar at best. And I do like Malik Collins as a situational pass rushing interior defensive tackle, but I don't like him as a base down defensive tackle. So the thing is that heading into free agency, the 49ers are paper thin at interior defensive tackle. And then that also, you have to keep in mind, they're also going to be heading into the draft potentially in this manner as well. And that's not where they want to be. I think you saw the 49ers claim Trey Tomlinson yesterday, and that makes sense because they currently only have 4 cornerbacks that are on the roster. So they are thin at a couple spots. Linebacker is one of them as well, tight end being another one, and getting thinner at wide receiver, even though they do have some pretty substantial depth there. So we'll see. We'll see what happens right now, and if this is going to happen. But I do think it makes sense. Now I get it. It's not a huge, you know, take you over the top signing, but I think it could be an impactful signing in the sense of it fills a need. It's a veteran starter who's been one of the best in the league. We understand we're likely not paying him to be the best interior defensive tackle in the league. We're paying him to be middle of the pack. And right now, middle of the pack is a huge upgrade over what the San Francisco 49ers currently have. So you have to think about it that way. Yes, are there better options out there? Could you go out and try to get a big time game changer? Of course, but sometimes you just need quality players. And he is a veteran. He's been a captain, and he could bring a presence to that interior defensive line spot, especially if the 49ers were going to go target defensive tackles in the draft. So I am for it. I don't think you spend a ton. I really think that his addition would be determined based on what the overall cost would be to obtain him. So I'm not expecting the 49ers spend big on him. I think that if you can get him for relatively cheap, even if it was a 1 year prove it type of deal, that would be the best case scenario for the San Francisco 49ers. And if you got him on a prove it deal, it could be an incentive for him to play very, very hard in order to earn one more lucrative contract before he hangs it up. So I'm curious to know what you guys think about this. Let me know what you think. Should the 49ers go after Jonathan Allen in free agency? Again, barring all things make sense. Let me know what you think in the comments below. And as always, make sure to like and subscribe for more updates.